got something brand new for all of you today. It's 10 Etsy store reviews in 10 minutes. I know that hundreds of you send your store names into me to get reviews, but I can't possibly do all of your stores. It takes too long. So now I'm going to open this up to so many more of you by doing 10 mini reviews in each 10-minute video. So first things first, two things. Number one, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, you should be. My handle's coming up on the screen now. Number two, if you want one of these reviews, put your store name in the comments. I'm going to get through loads of your stores using this method. So it's 10 reviews in 10 minutes. I'm going to try and do one of these every single week. Let's get into these 10 stores. So much for all of you to learn because there's so many niches and different stores on offer. Let's go. Right, let's get into these 10 store reviews. So much value, so much to learn here. First store, Northern Wild UK, sells original photo prints. And the main problem with this store is the fact that all these mock-ups, look at these mock-ups, it's just a frame on the floor. You don't get any sense of context. These prints should be in rooms to give people ideas of what their newly purchased photo is going to look like. When you go into the listing and have a look at the listing, there's virtually no photos at all. So no real promoting of this product. There's no video. There's nothing here, just a couple of photos, which really doesn't lend itself to selling more. Also need to list more items, take out the stuff that's not working, bring in more new listings for people to buy. Lots of work to do in this store here. Number two, Moneybugs Treasures. Okay, here, this store, first of all, photos, dark, washed out photos, cut off, shadows, all this has got to change. You need much better photos. The next thing, models. Put your jewellery on models so people get the context of what this jewellery looks like on a human being. And last of all, for this store, if you look here, if you go into some jewellery, low stock. Don't have jewellery with only 2 in stock. What happens if you sell 2 overnight and there's no stock? That's the worst thing you can do for Etsy. Make sure you've got deeper stock. I would try and get 5 in stock for all of your items minimum. You don't ever want to sell out. So that's this store here, Moneybugs Treasures. Number 3, Music to My Ears. Vintage, classed as vintage music. So here, this store, I quite like this. First thing I do is list a lot more. Just list a lot more. I know it looks like you've got a lot of items, but these are one of a kind. So when these sell out, this is a huge problem, right? So what you want to do is list more and then try and list back down onto what sells, right? So try to collect artists together. And then when one sells, you can list another item, change the photos, change the SEO, change the video, and then list back down to save some of that visibility. Also, I would just do this in the listing. You've got a few photos. I would show the other side of the disc. To show the quality, whether it's scratched, whether it's clean. I would do that as well. But yeah, let's get some better photos, show the other side of the disc. Definitely, if you're selling any records in here, I don't know if you are or not. Yeah, you are. I would show close-ups of the records as well. Okay, that's good. Music to My Ears 2024. Next, what do we got next? Clip Art Way. Okay, this one, basically, first thing, list more. You've got to list so much more. You've only got 49 listings. You've managed to do 250 sales in the store since 2023, which isn't that bad considering how small this store is. You need to put a 0 on this. Get to 490. You know, huge opportunity with listing more to make. You'll make more sales, I guarantee you. And then in here, when you get to your videos, the videos are too quick, too fast. It's just literally those bunnies coming into view. That's not adding value. Slow the video down. You've got 15 seconds. Tell people more about the listing and the value proposition in video, and you'll sell more. I absolutely guarantee you. Okay, that is the Clip Art Way. Next store, let's get going. It is the Activity Quest. Okay, Activity Quest. First thing, these are educational printables, but everything's way too busy. So busy. I'm just so confused when I look at all this stuff. I don't know what I'm buying, what I'm not buying. Do I get all this stuff in the image? Don't I? It's so confusing. And we don't want to confuse people. The products you're selling are quite cute and you've made some sales and people are buying them, but you've got to redo the whole way the way it's presented to the customers. And also, even though 141 listings isn't too bad, I would list a whole load of more items into this store. This is a numbers game. You're competing with lots of other people. Get your store much, much bigger and you will sell a lot more. So there, a couple of solid tips there for you for the activity quest. Let's get on to, this is an interesting store. Dice Tomb, really, really good. Interesting Dungeons and Dragons based, gemstone based dice. The first thing I would do here is better photos. Better photos. Let's get away from these grey, boring backgrounds. They do nothing to sell your product. This is got value, the product that you're selling. Let's get themed photography in. Let's get rid of these dull grey backgrounds. Also, if you can offer personalization. I don't know if this is possible either at the product level on the dice, right, or the packaging level. Look at these photos. They're so dull. They're so dull. There's just nothing going on here. Get some personalization into this store, either on the products themselves or the packaging or both, and you will sell more. Oh yeah, and by the way, list more. List way, way more. You will make a boatload more sales. Put a 1 in the front of this, 163. You'll be making a lot more sales. Dice Tomb, lots to do, but if you listen to what I've just said, you'll make more sales. Let's keep going. Wallpaper Avenue. All right, this is an interesting store. So the first thing is, when you look at this store, the photos, the way these mock-ups are presented, it's quite confusing. It's quite confusing because when you look at the images themselves, we want to see a relationship between the wallpaper and the room. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. Like this one here, it's just not working because everything's just grey. I understand why you've done it, but it just doesn't work as a product to sell. Some of them are better than others. This one here, it's kind of maybe sort of like a kid's nursery room or something. I mean, it's not too bad. But again, think about what you're doing with your wallpaper and make sure that it's in the right room, which brings me to the point. You've got to also dial in on what people are buying. Are people really going to buy en masse something like this? The answer is no, they won't. Think about who's buying on Etsy. Mostly women, 25 to 45, over 60% of all the customers are in the United States. Start thinking about what the context is. What's the content of your wallpaper? Does it make sense for people to buy en masse? And I think a lot of these designs will probably get changed out if you take that into account. So yeah, some solid advice for you, Kate. Good luck. Next store, Tiny Crafts. So Tiny Crafts is store number 8 of 10. Number 1, first thing, you see how when I do these 10 store reviews, the same problems keep cropping up. You get to see really now what's going on. Here, the photos, they're so dull, so dark, right? Look at these, how dark they are. I mean, there's a couple of digital listings here where obviously they're bright, but look at these, so dark. And the next problem with this store is that you need to list more. There's only 37 listings. You've made a couple of sales, but you need to move this store to 100 listings and focus in on these handmade products. Okay, and the last thing, this is killing you. This is killing this store. If I go into a product, right, this one here, it's a rare find. There's only 1 in stock. Don't have 1 in stock of anything. If you sell this when you go to bed and this goes out of stock for 9 hours, you've just lost visibility on this listing. So at least 2 in stock. Try to get to 5 in stock. If you've got the materials to make it, just list it. List the numbers. Get to 5, get to 10. As long as you can make them, they don't have to be made. So they don't have to be sitting on a shelf waiting to send out. No, you just got to have the materials to make them. Raise your stock. Don't go out of stock. Etsy sees you've got stock and you'll sell more. There we go. Good tips there for number 8, which is Tiny Crafts 10. Number 9, let's get on to number 9. I'm rattling through these. I've got to do 10 reviews in 10 minutes. Okay, Needful Things Thrift. Okay, so this is a cute jewelry store. Number 1 problem in this store. Can you see it as I scroll down? Can you see the problem? Number 1, apart from these 2 photos here, there's no models. This jewellery is sort of placed on a wooden table or something with a plant. You've got to have models in your jewellery. Show context. Get emotional connection with the buyer. Placing jewellery on tables gives you none of that. So that's the first thing. Add the models to the photos and just improve the photography. Get rid of the prompts. Do most of your shots with models and add videos to everything. And I did check a couple of your products and they do have videos. So yeah. Try and add videos to everything. Okay, last one then. My alarm's gone off for 10 minutes, but we're going to keep going. It's Phil Gallery. Phil, hello to you. I know you're one of my subscribers or followers. Good to speak to you. The first thing, Phil, in here is, again, the same problems cropping up. Look at this. These are wooden boxes, decorated boxes, but there's only one. There's only one. So anything you sell, Phil, that goes out of stock, you just lose visibility. So try to have more than one in stock, or similar pipelines of listings that you can list back down onto the listings that sell. Really, really important. And the other thing, Phil, for your store to help you, try to offer personalization. Try to find some way to personalize and you will sell more. I know it's a tough ask. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this, let me know. If you want your store in one of these reviews, put the store name in the description. And if you want to work with me, don't wait, don't guess. The Book In Now button's coming up on your screen that takes you to a one-to-one discovery call with me to see how I can further your Etsy store in paid consultations or mentoring. I look forward to catching you in the comments and catching you in a consultation. Cheers.